Rebecca, let me come over to you for 1 second. When's the last time you came in, Rebecca? Has it been recently, or have you kind of come? Has it been a little bit of a while? You can unmute yourself if you'd like, and or you can comment in the chat.
I think I joined last week as well when Darius did his session, which I thought was really good. I always find these inspiring, so I'm back.
That's very cool. What's your industry? What do you do, Rebecca?
Real estate in Alberta.
Oh, nice, very cool. What's kind of your crowd up there? Is it buyers and sellers, or one side over the other, or
Generally buyers at the moment.
buyers?
So,
Okay.
yeah, always looking at new, innovative, and effective ways to communicate with them.
No, that's neat. Do you ever do a newsletter update to your folks, like the contacts that you have, or what's kind of the communication you normally do?
I would say, yeah, a little bit of newsletters, but then I might have like house features and whatnot, like kind of, this is a house of the week kind of thing.
Okay.
And so then it might do some sort of tour for them.
Okay.
So yeah.
No, that's really neat. Yeah, we have a lot of here, I'll share my screen here and show you this. Like it's so far it's just yourself and a couple AI note takers and Kyan who's in here a lot. He's super specific. So let's jump into some specifics on a couple of things while we can. So let me show you this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so real estate related, like I think just in general, everything always comes down to the GIF when you're kind of sending these things. Like what is interesting about what you're sending visually and does it give context? And I think you could do even a combination here. So do you ever get people that when a lead comes in, someone's interested in buying a property, like comes right in, you know the address, does it get delivered to you in your CRM or how do you kind of get it? Like a lead?
A little bit of a mix. Unfortunately, I usually don't have too much information. Maybe somebody who just said, "Hey, I'm interested." And so just trying to build that trust. Sometimes the video helps, sometimes they don't open it, sometimes you have to try a few times in different methods.
Okay. And that person that the information you have, do you typically have their email or is it just a phone that you have or?
Usually an email, yeah.
Okay. And they would be interested in buying a property probably. They're looking to buy.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Got it. And sometimes you don't even know what the property is. They're just interested in the
exactly.
area. Okay. I think, some neat visual things you can do. I think even something like this, where there is a phrase on here, like heard you're interested, dot, dot, dot. Or
Right.
something on here that, I mean, the name has always worked good over the years because you'll have their contact. But I think like to give it some context, you could do a combination here. So if you did, all right, take this as an example. Let me go over here. Let's just say you opened up your webcam up here, and let's say you uploaded down here. I'm going to click virtual background. And coming down here, I'm going to go to photos. And let's just say you uploaded a bunch of screenshots of it. You're in Alberta.
Yes, that's right.
So say you had some nice Alberta neighborhoods, screenshots, kind of beautiful landscape kind of stuff. What you could do is you could grab something like this. I'll just pretend this is beautiful Alberta, which is not, I don't know where this is. But you could have something where, and then you could take the phone and you could do a combination of both. So you could do something like this. Let me show you here. Um, let's see. About something like this.
Mm,
And then maybe it's a nice like screenshot of Alberta, like a pretty like area of the things
right.
you're interested in, say, and do one of these. Hey, I saw you were interested in coming to the Alberta area. I want to talk a little bit about why that is so amazing and give you some really good deep dive insight that you're not going to hear probably anywhere else. We talked about some of the different standout properties we have here. And then maybe that's kind of like the opening or something along the lines of maybe bringing something up within your skill set that is different than they would probably hear, you know? Like something like that, you know?
Hmm.
So just something visual to think about. So, and that was broken down into virtual background by clicking below, and that gives you that. And then the phone, do you have an Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Have you tried the phone with the name or those?
No, I have not.
Okay,
I have a
so
huge to-do list, and that's on it.
this would be cool for people like you're talking about, leads where you only have their email, you don't have a lot of info, but you know they want to buy. So Dubb mobile app right here, and
Mhm.
there's a little square button right up there at the top. See that right there?
Okay.
So just select that there. That opens up the typing area. And
Okay.
then all I did was just type what I wanted to do in here. And then whether it's a name or statement, and then just turn it like that.
Mm,
And then you can either bring it in a frame when you hit record or already have it here, but have some movement to it.
hmm
Thing is, if you're doing virtual background and this at the same time, just things you want to keep just in mind is that when you're using the virtual background, you got to be careful of going into the soup.
Yes.
So you kind of want to use your shoulders as a guardrail. So I would just bring it up like this, nice and simple, like that. Even do one of these. As long as you're in this realm, I think you're totally fine if you
Right.
want to do a combination of both. But either way, even if you didn't have the virtual background and you just had this, or you didn't have this and you had the virtual background, there is something about the GIF that's got to give some kind of hint to what this is probably about. You know what I mean?
hmm
Um, as far as the newsletter stuff, you could do something like this, like update. So similar kind of style that you could do, but you could also do something where you have this. Have you done anything like this, like a market update with a screen?
No, not yet.
Okay. So these are really good for obviously market updates. When you get those emails or even a newsletter, like, hey, an update of what's going on in Alberta. And I think you can do one of two things from a focus standpoint. So let's just say we had let me just put Alberta, Canada, real estate update. Let me see what comes up here for a site. Let's just grab this for a second. Okay, so this one's a little, I wouldn't say it's the prettiest site. It's got a lot of stuff in here, but let's just say we were focused on this, like right, just as an example, right?
hmm
So what you could do is you could open up the Chrome extension like this. This is the screen recorder right up here at the top. And when you open this up, it's going to put you on the page, kind of like you just saw, right? So what you can do is you can move yourself maybe like right here. Okay. And then you're going to hit record and you can do something like this. Choose your tab, opens up like this, and you could say, hey, this is Rob. I wanted to send you this quick update video here because it's really important to know what's going on in the market. And there's actually a stat here that I wanted to show you right away. And it is this one right here. And then just kind of use the annotation tool and then point it out with the arrow or underline. And Calgary's
hmm
average home price increased by 6.3% year over year. And that's this number right here, 646,743. Let's take a look at some other stuff's going on here. And then you can scroll down. So, in other words, when I save this into Dubb, the animated GIF is going to put me in a good spot where I'm kind of in where there are numbers, it's
hmm
specific. So it's almost like a little preview of what this thing is going to be about. So I'm right here. You can tell there's numbers that I'm going to talk about right here, and I'm right next to them. And it says Alberta Housing Market Report right there. So it gives a nice context in terms of what it's going to be about. And I'm going to be talking about numbers right here.
Yes.
That would be important. So I think those kinds of visuals are really neat. Do you do any kind of property walkthroughs and things like that?
Yeah, I did. And I did use Dubbed for those, which was really good because then that way I can have a hosting
Mhm.
so that it's easier to send files.
Okay. Did you do something like this, or did you this is picture in picture. Have you used this yet right here?
I didn't do the picture in picture, but I was not too sure whether or not it would make it even more difficult for it to upload because it would be a larger file. And it was like time is of the essence at that one.
I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't. I don't think it should, but you could try it as a test, just like when you're out and about, as like doing a quick one. How long typically do you do the property walkthrough videos? How are they? How long are they?
Well, the last one I did was 15 minutes, but I realized that because I had a lot of cached videos,
Mhm.
I was having issues uploading. So after the fact, I realized my problem. So I just had to uninstall Dubb, I think it was.
Okay.
And then once I reinstalled it, it just loaded like no problem.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, sometimes they're just update stuff you have to do too.
Right.
Um, so far, Rebecca, what kind of videos have you recorded just a property walkthrough with the mobile app? Have you done anything else?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And then do you have Outlook or Gmail or how
A
did you
Gmail.
send it? Oh, Gmail. Okay. And then you Did you send it with, let me just show you this, just sharing it wise. So when you have a compose, when you sent it out, did you have the word video in the subject line when you sent it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, perfect. And then how much text did you have in here? Just like a little paragraph, or was it like a,
Probably just a sentence.
oh, nice. Okay,
Like
cool.
just saying, because what I did was I broke it out, backyard, front yard, main
Yep.
floor, basement, and then that way they had four different videos to click.
Okay.
And then that way I can also track whether or not they saw the whole video for each of them or
Yeah.
where their interest lied.
No, that's a good idea. How about as far as the ad? Did you use the shortcut right down here with the dub symbol, or did you do the big share and
Oh,
send button?
I did the big share and send button.
Okay. If you want to do the shortcut, the reason this button right here is in Gmail is because when you have the Dubb Chrome extension logged in and pinned right up here, that screen recorder that we were just using, when
Yeah.
that's in here and you refresh Gmail, this should show up right down here. So what
Yes.
this gives you the ability to do is click here and then see how I'm scrolling through the videos down at the bottom right. Then
Mm.
just find the video you want. Let's say it's this one right here. And then you come in here, click advanced options, put the email of the person you're sending it to. And
Uh-huh.
you can even put a little personalization text like this um, is your market date. And then what you can do is just click insert video like that,
Okay.
and it'll pop it in just like that.
I see.
Yeah. And it's nice to have, see how it says this is your market update, this little bar right here?
Yeah.
You can do the same thing over here. Just click share and send, and then put that personalization
Okay.
right there. The reason this is kind of cool to do is because you could think of like a unique phrase, like if a buyer is interested in buying, and we did that thing we talked about before with the background, you're holding the phone, even though it's asking that, you could still put something up here. Like if you have the person's name, you could say,
Mhm.
"Hey, John, this is check this out," or something like right here, and then you have that there. So just think
Right.
about kind of what this would say too. It's kind of neat.
No, so true.
Yeah.
Well, super appreciate it, Rob. Unfortunately, I'm being called away.
Go, do your thing.
All right.
Keep recording.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Good talking to you, Rebecca.
You too. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.